All right, guys, let's prepare to share the screen. Just hold on one moment. Let me see how many questions we got. We got right at about 60 questions. So let's take the first part of our night and let's try to get by. Let's do at least let's try to get halfway. All right. Let's try to get halfway. This study guide will be emailed over to everyone. Hold on one moment and let's prepare to share. Okay. Oh, going to the chat. What we got in chat? Yes, 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 yes. I'm excited that you're excited, Brittany. Okay. And remember our announcement. Um, July 26th at 2 p.m. is our graduation. Everyone who's graduating should have received the email. Also, within that email is a link for you to go to Amazon and order your cap and gown. Okay. And then also there is a graduation dues that's due if you're an esthetician for, and it explains what your dues are for. Okay. So we got to get that in as soon as possible. And I'm so excited. July is going to be a countdown to graduation. It's going to be so amazing. So we're going to have a high point of our summer, and we're going to cross over pass after pass after pass. So I'm just super, super excited. Hold on as we prepare to join the screen. Miss Candace, you got anything?
No, ma'am, I'm excited too for
Yeah,
graduation.
that's going to be amazing. Okay. All right, everybody. Let's see what we got here to open. Let's see if we can open this with Google Docs. Hey guys, we not so much work in the chat. I do want you to unmute. Okay. I do want you to unmute. I can't really get to the chat right now, but I'm gonna need you guys to unmute and give me the closest answers possible. This is the hair removal study guide that'll be sent out to everyone. And also I'm gonna try to get it for you. I don't know about you having it in person tomorrow, but I'm gonna definitely email it over to you. Let's look at the first one. This is for everyone to participate. Remember, interaction, interaction. The most common method of removal in salons is it waxing, electrolysis, laser, or IPL?
Waxing.
Waxing.
Waxing is correct. Okay. A, waxing is correct. Do anyone know what electrolysis is? Okay. Here's the thing, and Shania already know what I'm gonna say. Terms are your best friend. Learning your terms are your absolute best friends. Okay. If I could give you any steps how to prepare for state board testing, how to prepare for any test, it is knowing what the question is asking, and that's learning your words. Okay. You may be a skimmer, which means you read through the chapters. You don't really read page for page. You glance through them, or you don't even read the chapters at all. You may go to just the notes, whatever you do, but do learn your vocabulary words, learn your terms, okay? So one is waxing, all right? Electrolysis is hair removal, And what happens is a needle that goes into the pore that retards the hair root. Okay, so it's actual needle that goes down to kill the hair root, electrical needle. Okay, Tennessee State Board or any state board does not regulate that. I can only speak for Tennessee right now, but your health department, if we were in Memphis, the Shelby County Health Department will regulate that. It will fall right in line with the approvals you have to have for tattooing, microblading, shading, things of that nature. So it falls into that family of services. A laser and IPL, they're the same thing, guys. They're both lasers. Okay. I want you to get, we're going to talk a lot about IPLs because IPLs are great for Fitzpatrick's 1, 2, and 3. But as you get more melanin in your skin, 4, 5, and six being the darker your skin is, the higher the number. IPLs for me and a lot of my colleagues are not suggested because as it removes hair, the light impulse that comes off can break up the melanin, causing what? Broken, you'll find white spots, light spots. Now the melanin groups up into little pieces. Now you have dark spots in certain areas. Okay, and so you don't want to break up melanin. You're simply trying to remove the hair, but there are lasers that help with hyperpigmentation, and there are lasers that help with skin tightening, and there are lasers that help with hair removal. So as we start talking about lasers, we do that move into advanced aesthetics, but I want you guys to know there are different types of lasers. And you're probably the first one you learn about is always IPL. But remember, when you're at a show or you're in a class, ask how the effect of the IPL is for melanated skin. And that's going to give you the real truth of whether you should purchase that laser machine or not. Okay. So, number one is A. I know y'all got all of that out of A, but you knew I was going. You know where I was going. I don't think anybody is surprised that I'm gonna go left. Okay, let's look at two. Salons make much of their money through, is it facial massage, hair removal, extractions, or microdermabrasions? Go back
B.
to one, the most common thing they do, and then look at salons make money of their most of their money from what?
B.
B. No, no, yeah, B. You said one was A. So if they're doing a lot of waxing, they're making most of their money from waxing hair removal. So number two, hair removal. You're absolutely right. Number three, the study of hair and its diseases is called aesthetics, dermatology, trichology, or cosmetology.
C.
C.
Trichology.
Trichology.
Yeah, trichology, yes. In studying trichology, that's the study of hair. All right. You, for a cosmetologist, you're no longer concerned about learning a style or a technique. You're concerned about the issues going on within the skin and the scalp. All right. The highest form of um, cosmetologist would be a trichologist, or they call it a trichologist, doctor. Okay. And so that doctor will now not be concerned with everything else, but just concerned with the diseases and disorders of the hair and scalp. Their number one job is the why. Why is this happening, and what can we do to help? Okay, so that is the biggest concern. That's number three. Trichology. What do dermatologists study? Just for a sec.
The skin.
Yeah, study of the skin. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And aesthetics, you're the beautification of the skin. Number four, on the average human body, there are roughly blank phyllosebaceous units capable of producing hair. And I want Shanita to answer this one.
I
We
can't
saw
see
this
all of
yesterday.
the.
Huh?
I can't see all of the choices.
Okay. It's 100,000, it's 1 million, 3 million, or 5 million.
5 million.
It is 5 million. Yes, 5 million. There are 5 million philosebaceous units capable of producing hair. That's pores, follicles all over your body. Okay. Number five. What is the name for the mass of epidermal cells that forms a small tube or canal? Is it hair follicle, philosebaceous unit, follicle canal, or hair shaft?
Excuse me, Miss D. What you said number four was, and you can't see the questions that you're reading.
I have it on share.
It's not moving up.
Hold on one
Yeah,
moment.
we only see down to number 4 and a answer.
Yeah. And what was number four answer?
Hold on. Yeah, I just blew it up to 150%. So what's showing now is number five and number six. So you're saying you don't see number five and number six?
No, ma'am.
Okay, hold
No.
on. Okay, let me stop share. And remember, I have another device, so please, my apologies. Let me hit share. Okay. What tell me somebody tell me what they see now.
We see five. I see 5 and 6.
Okay. Number four was D, 5 million. Number five, it says, what is the name of the mass of epidermal cells that forms a small tube or canal? The key word is tube, and the answer is going to be A, hair follicle. Okay? It's going to be A, hair follicle. Number six, the part of the body that contains the hair follicle and its appendages is called the blank. The hair follicle and its appendages, the part of the body that contains the hair follicle and its appendages.
D.
Okay, remember, hair follicle is underneath the skin.
Is it D?
No, hair shaft is above the skin. That's only the cuticle cortex and medulla. So this says the part of the body that contains the hair follicle. The hair follicle is found underneath the skin and its appendages. That's going to be number six, is
C.
going to be B.
B. B.
B. B.
Mhm.
Okay.
B, philosebaceous unit. And I want you guys to remember that term because I think we've been seeing it already 3 times. We've seen it already. So philosebaceous unit needs to be one of those terms that we kind of get an understanding about. Number seven, which part of the philosebaceous unit produces the hair matrix? Okay. Is it follicle canal, hair shaft, hair bulb, or hair papilla?
Is that A?
It is A. Good job. I want you to make sure that you all remember this when you see it again. That is A. Number eight, hair is anchored to skin cells by the blank. Is it hair shaft, hair bulb, hair papilla, or hair root? Okay. It's anchored. It's something that holds on. It's going to be hair root. Hair is anchored to skin cells by the hair root. When you wax, you're going to pull out the hair and you'll see something what we call a bulb on the end. The bulb comes from the hair root. Okay. Number 9. And let me go back to 8. A, B, C, and D should be noted. Everybody needs to know what those definitions are. If the hair root is found underneath the skin in the follicle, the hair shaft is found above the skin. That's the hair that you can see. You can't see the hair root because it's underneath the skin, but you can see the hair shaft. All right. The hair bulb and papilla help filter hair growth. They get the nutrition from the blood, take it to the hair roots so hair can then grow from there. Number 9, cell division occurs in the part of the phyllosebaceous unit known as the is a hair bulb, hair shaft, hair papilla, or hair root.
Is it C?
It's A, cell division. So the hair, once it feeds, the bulb, once it feeds from the hair root, will start the hair to growing. Cell division. So 9 is A. And you may say, Miss Cox, line these up. How does this work? Papilla is going to be low. Okay. And then you're going to have the follicle. The papilla sits right up in under the follicle. And then you're going to have the hair root and the hair bulb. Okay. So it's the food will be pulled from the blood. From the blood, it'll be sent to the bottom of that follicle, and that's where you're going to find the hair root, and it's going to feed the hair bulb, and hair bulb is going to create hair. All right, and as long as it's feeding, it's going to do that process over and over. That's why hair continuously grow. Okay, there are certain times of the year that hair pauses. We talked about that the other night. And then there are certain times of the year that hair flourishes. But usually you have hair in a continuous growing stage. As long as you're eating, we can pull some kind of nutrition from it and we can reproduce. Even if you're eating the wrong stuff, it's going to reproduce. It may not produce any good hair, but it's going to reproduce. Number 10, the part of the hair that is visible above the skin is known as, I just said it, what is it?
B.
The
B.
hair shaft.
The
B.
hair shaft. Yep. For the estheticians, the hair shaft has 3 parts to it: a cuticle, the cortex, and medulla. Estheticians may say, why do I need to know that? Here's the thing: whatever's going on with the hair is also going on with the skin and with the nails. All right. So if the hair looks dry, stringy, coming out the scalp, it looks bad, something nutritional or something functioning with the blood, maybe a circulatory issue is happening inside of the body is producing bad stuff. All right. And so whatever you see going on with the hair, you can see those similar symptoms in the skin and similarities in the nail as well. But again, estheticians, why do I need to know this? Because you guys are going to do hair removal. You're going to do IPL lasers. You're going to use that. But most importantly, you're going to color some eyelashes. You're going to color some eyebrows. And in order for you to color the eyelashes and eyebrows, you need to know what component of the hair is going to lock that color in, period. That's why you need to know it. Okay. And whatever you touch and you're getting money to provide a service, you need to know what's going on underneath. So, number 11, what is divided into 3 parts? I just said it: the cuticle, the cortex, and medulla. What is it?
Yeah.
Somebody said what?
Hair shaft?
Hair shaft. Correct, correct, correct. What is the saw? Oh, now we get into the good stuff. What is
Yes.
the saw and downy hair called that grows on a fetus. Ooh, the good stuff.
B.
Nugo. The Nugo?
B. It's B.
It's B, vellus hair.
I said Lanugo. I think we covered that last night.
I thought
It's
B is
lanugo.
the. Oh, I thought the Venus was the baby hair.
That's a,
It goes from lanugo to vellus, from vellus to terminal.
okay. That's it. Okay, so terminal.
Yeah, it's lanugo. So soft and downy hair called that grows on the fetus. That's gonna be lanugo. This is what we try to always say. This what where we get baby hair from. Okay, but do know lanugo hair falls out. But there are some places on the body that once lanugo hair falls out, it's replaced with vellus hair. All right. Um, we had a conversation the other night. Well, I don't know what night it was. Was it last week we had this conversation about lanugo vellus and terminal hair? Or was I in a day class? I think I was in a day class. But vellus hair. When people say they want dermaplaning done and they do it, it's done on the face, you are removing the vellus hair. Vellus hair sets in place to protect the skin. So you're gonna have it it's pretty much all over your body. It doesn't really have color to it. So you feel that it's there, but it has not taken pigment yet. Um, we can talk about a few myths and things like that. But when someone prematurely starts shaving, you really send a signal, like your hair has memory. And some people are like, what? Yeah, your hair remembers when it was relaxed. It remembers the heat for it to be straight. Your hair holds memory. So when you go and take a razor to vellus hair, the memory pops in, or it says, bam, we're being shaven. It must be time for us to go. And so that hair, you don't start to see that hair produce anymore. That when it's shaving, especially shaving prematurely, with different utensils, maybe not utensils, different tools, maybe a hard blade, it sends a signal that says, hey, terminal hair, they're ready for you. They've used this mature tool on our skin, and hey, we can't do anything with it. They're ready for you. So this is where terminal hair starts to come in. And people say, I was shaving, and then, when I did shave, though, it came back thicker. It came back wiry, it came back everywhere. But that's because once you do get rid of the vellus hair, and if you growing and you're productive of a certain age, it is time for terminal hair to come in. But if you are not properly doing the proper removal services, it is going to come back wiry. It's going to come back harsh. It's going to come back with it looking thicker, but it only looks thicker because now it has more color to it. It started to pick up color and it is stronger. Terminal hair is what we as adults we have. We've been having this since puberty. Okay. And if anyone looks, seen anybody with hair down their back, that terminal hair can stay on your head for over 6 years. And this is also a reason why they want to do strand tests for drug tests, because no matter what you put in your system to clear up whatever, you know, you can look at a person's strand of hair and see for years everything that has gone on in their body, because what you put in your body comes out, and it has to tell, like your hair is becomes evidence. Okay, so that's one of the things also. Hey, I've shaved my vellus hair, but now it feels like the hair is coming back even thicker and with color, and I don't know if I want to do this. Number one, when you cut the hair, when you shave, when you razor it, you never bring all of the hair. You are cutting on an edge. So yeah, you leave a sharp point, so it looks like the hair is gone, but it's really not. And as you cut it, it continue growing underneath, and then you start to see that 5 o'clock shadow and start to see that hair coming back in. It's not that it only happens because you use a razor. It happened, yeah. You did not pull it the whole thing out from the root. Okay. You cut it simply at the point that the skin and the hair met, and you left a sharp end. That gives us the indication that, oh, my hair is growing back, but it's rougher and thicker. Hey, you cut the vellus off, the thing that's supposed to protect the skin says, oh, they big and bad. We got to produce some rougher hair now. Make sure y'all read that and check it out. It's a, I want to say an awesome read, but when you start to understand it, you be like, what? And think about all those people who are still using razors in the shower. Think about the young ladies that you know that the first interaction of hair removal, they were in the shower and they took a razor. That skin, that hair memory has to be switched all the way around. Think about the women who go get wax and then they turn around and go get razoring. That memory is out of whack. When they come to you for their regular services, then you put the memory back together. The hair tames itself. Um, it's an amazing feature when you think about it, but it is the answer to a lot of the issues you see people have that do a lot of home services. And y'all knew I was gonna go left from one little question. Okay. So what is the soft and downy hair called that grows on fetus? It is lanugo. The first stage of hair growth is known as, come on, catagen, telogen, anagen, philogen. Ain't no such thing as philogen. Okay.
See.
D is out of there. What's what's the first stage of hair growth?
And energy.
Yeah.
See,
Yes,
Yeah. And
anagen. What's the next one? Anagen, catagen, and telogen.
the next one, collagen, intelligent.
ACT. Okay, ACT. Anagen is the growing, catagen is the pause, intelligent is the shedding, falling away. All right. So 13 is C, the final stage in hair growth. What's the falling away?
telogen.
Telogen,
Yes.
yeah. Whenever you're talking about hair growth, just think about ACT. It's gonna grow, then it's gonna pause, and then it's gonna fall out. All right. The pause and fall out, y'all, is very, it's like a few, very short in the year. With every client, you need to ask, especially if they're coming for a wax, you need to ask these questions. Is there ever a season in the year? There's 4 seasons, 5 if you ask me. But if there's ever 4 seasons in the year and there's one season where you see mostly your hair grows, and then ask them, is there a season where you see a lot of shedding? I would take those answers mostly in the summer, y'all. You're gonna find a lot of people have hair growth. In the winter, you're gonna have a lot of people that say they have um it's either stunted or shedding. Okay. Yeah, we could think of some outside elements and vitamins and the cold and things of that nature. But these individuals just may be going, they may just be telling you their phase that their hair grows and falls out. So why does estheticians need to know this? Because accordingly, you need to be able to book them and know, okay, I know in the summer that you're gonna have a lot of growth. You may have to come more often than you used to. So don't ever revert to um the wax. So with them saying, hey, I used to come once a month, they may have to come every every 12 days, every 2.5 weeks. Okay. That way you're getting them in at least twice a month. And then they say where it slows down. You still want them to come. They may not get the full facial. One time they may get a facial, not a facial, they may get a wax. But the second time that you want them to come in the slow months that everything sheds, they can get treatments. Okay, this is where you sell your treatments and things like that. And as estheticians, I do want you to remember the winter time, the fall and winter is when you do chemical peels. Okay, the summertime is not when we do chemical peels. The summertime is when we get educated, we learn about them, and we get stocked up. And then when the cooler months come, that's when we do the chemical peels. And so you still want them to come in, you recognize what's going on, and then if you don't, you'll let them sit at home. And then you'll have a slow month as well. But you need to get on their path of how their hair grows, because somebody's going to say this. I guarantee you, somebody's going to say this. I went to her, I got a Brazilian wax, but it seems like my hair is just growing back faster. You got to be able to come back with them truthfully and tell them what that is. That's a good thing. You are constantly producing a lot of hair. Your body is constantly repairing itself. Your cells are really repairing itself. As a person gets older, they're not going to have that cell repair, that multiplication of hair growing like that. And so in your 20s and 30s, I mean, you're going to have them come saying hair is just growing out crazy. Those are great clientels for you to educate it with and tell them you might have to book every 14 days, every 12 to 14 days instead of every 3 weeks, because you have this growth. And then you can, of course, for those who are getting older and hair and cells do not repair and expand as much, you can find ways and treatments of the skin that can also help your bottom line. But it's good for us to know ACT. I expect everybody to know ACT. Okay. And that's the final stage, the shedding and the falling out. 15 says, between what two phases of hair growth might the appearance of two hairs in the same follicle occur? Mm. If anyone has ever had two hairs trying to grow out the same follicle, anybody ever had that happen before? It hurts so bad. It hurts.
Okay.
And then that's just two. Think of 4 and 5 hairs trying to come out at the same time. That means that hair bulb that multiplies cells, that hair bulb ate so well, it just kept sprouting up hairs in the follicle. And now they all trying to get out at one time. That scalp is gonna swell, that area is gonna swell. It may even be inflamed. It's gonna have a local pain, and you're gonna have to literally remove those hairs out of that scalp area in order to get some relief. And you don't want to tear it, because you could cause infection in that area and the hair never would grow back again. Okay. So, number 15, between what two phases of hair growth might the appearance of two hairs in the same follicle? And also, we have this when one hair is about to get ready to shed and another one is coming out. So one's ready
A.
to go,
Is it A?
one's coming out. What you say?
Is it A?
Is it D?
It
Wait,
is A.
oh, it's A.
Yeah, because intelligent is when it's slowing, when it's shedding, right?
Mm-hmm.
And energy is when it's growing. So
There
you
you go.
said when there's two coming in at the same follicle, one is trying to come out while one is coming in.
Good job. Good job. Uh-oh, I love this. And y'all may say, this is hair removal. Why are we not talking about waxing? Because you gotta know everything you touch has a theory behind it. and you're taking money for these wax services, you are held accountable for what you're doing. You are considered the expert. So I'm gonna need you to study down real bad, real bad. Okay, let's look at a term called hypertrichosis. Hypertrichosis. All right, hypertrichosis. Whenever you see hyper, that means a lot of. Whenever you see trichosis or trich, that's something with hair. Okay, so hypertrichosis is never the result of an excess of male androgens, puberty, menopause, or genetic predisposition. You can come in. Okay. Hypertrichosis is never the result of an excess of male androgens, puberty, menopause, or genetic predisposition.
C, maybe.
It's A. Hypertrichosis is not specified for male or female. Okay. We not
Okay,
it's
got
never a result of like men hormones. So my mom just laughed. 16 is A. Okay.
it.
16
Okay,
is
so it's never a result of an excess of male androgens, and then you said that's basically like male hormones.
yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Hypertrichosis. And if you look at all of these, you got puberty, you got menopause, you got genetic predisposition. Genetic predisposition is simply hereditary DNA. Okay. Um, when we look at our hair, skin, and nails, it's a major factor that we got it from genetic predisposition. Because when you ever seen somebody tell a little baby, or you look just like your mom, you look just like your daddy, or you got hair just like I got hair. I've heard this a lot. I got hair just like my daddy. Not from me, but I've seen people say that when they come in for their wax services, I got my hair from my dad. That's genetic predisposition. All right, it's just the DNA. But that is not hypertrichosis. Okay, hypertrichosis could be associated with excessive hair growth due to menopause or excessive hair growth due to puberty. And when we start talking about hypertrichosis, we're talking about an abnormal amount of hair in areas where hair usually is not. So when we talk about hormones, men supposed to, they're built to have hair in a lot of places and to have rough hair. Did y'all know that their hair is genetically like it's assigned to men? Their hair and skin is tougher and rougher than ours, and our skin is more gentler and softer, and our hair is more gentler and softer as well. Their hair is coarser, and our hair is more finer. And so, a lot of times when you look at hypertrichosis, you may find that on someone who is going through hormonal issues, and they may be puberty, menopause, PCOS, them type of things. When you look at hypertrichosis, that which is a growth of or a normal growth of, you're not talking about an excess of male androgens. Okay, you will probably, when you see a male have an issue, they have a lack of hair, which cause, and that will be considered male pattern baldness. I think I'm just a little too nerdy tonight. Y'all can really tell me to turn it down. 17. What is the most common syndrome related to hair growth? Ooh, keyword. Okay. PCOS,
Keep
polycystic syndrome, androgenetical syndrome, Cushing syndrome, and my tongue can't say that last word. But what y'all think it is?
I say
A.
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 Mm-hmm.
A is correct. A is correct. So the most common service is waxing. You make most of your money from hair removal. And the most common thing y'all gonna see is clients with PCOS. Oh,
Hirsutism. I think they Hirsutism. I forgot what they call it. I know I ain't saying it right, but Hirsutism.
yeah, HIRSUT. Am I spelling it right?
Hirsutism. I'm
Yeah.
gonna have to look it up now because I know I'm
Yeah,
saying it
yeah,
wrong.
we gotta get our tongue together. Hirsutism or something like that. But we're gonna learn that tomorrow. Let's just take our moment and have a kindergarten moment. Repeat after me. We're gonna repeat after YouTube, okay?
Okay.
So 17 is A, polycystic ovarian syndrome. If you ever been in class any moment, we've had, case studies. We talk about PCOS so much because there's so many individuals that deal with it, including myself. And so a lot of what people have going on inside their bodies, it projects on the outside. And so how do we care for those individuals that are going through PCOS? They get the same thing we do. There's nothing really different. It's just they have hormonal challenges, I'm going to say, okay, throughout different periods of their life. And so as you begin to do consultations with the youngest to the oldest, I usually lean in on reproductive system pregnancies. Have you had a baby? I also lean in on endocrine system, going through menopause. When was your last cycle? Those type of things. Those questions. People may say it's nosy, but it's going to give me what I'm looking for to help me treat this client better. All right, and I need to know that because I need to know actually what hair removal service is going to work. I don't want to be playing around with razoring in there if we got a huge problem over here that I know hard wax or sugaring is the only thing that's going to get rid of it, right now. So we need to know that for our purposes. Let's do to 20 because I know it's 7 o'clock. It's time for Cosmo to come in, which is not a method of epilation. Oh, this is good.
Saving D.
Okay, which is not a method of epilation.
Tweezing.
Hey, tweet.
Are we 18? Uh-oh. Let me make sure I got the right answer on there.
Is it D?
Let me make sure we got the right answer. I gotta go all the way down. That was number 18.
Yes.
It's D.
It's D.
It was shaving.
I wonder is it basically because the other forms of hair removal basically will remove it from the root versus like with shaving you're just basically getting their hair that's right on the top.
Yeah, it was just like from the outer part. Let me take a picture
Right.
of this
Okay.
one.
Right in.
Okay. All right.
Go ahead then. 11-5. Okay, let's look. If 19 is A, we're gonna go back up and read it. And 20 is C. So let's go back up here and see what we got. So 18 is D. With tweezing, sugar, and waxing, it really pulls the hair root all the way out. And so you were right with that analogy. Was that Brittany or Jemiah?
It was me, Brittany.
Okay, you were right. Shaving leaves that hair root in when everything else um, pulls it out. 19. I don't forgot the answers already. Did y'all get the answers to 19 and 20?
It it was 19. Was I think it was A.
Okay, and 20C, right?
Yep.
Okay. What process removes hair from the bottom of the follicle by breaking contact between the bulb and the papilla? Okay. Epilation. From the bottom of the follicle or breaking contact with the bulb and papilla. Okay. 19 is A. We need to look at 19. I want you to know the difference between epilation and depilation. You may see those too. I've seen them several times, and I want you to know those too. We pretty much know about electrolysis, and reduction flows with electrolysis. Okay, so A and D, we need to know the difference between epilation and depilation. Um, Number 20. Ooh, how did we get there? Let's go back up. Go all the way back up. Okay, pseudophylactitis barber, PFB, y'all, that is an infection of the follicle. Okay. You usually see this on a male's face. The hair on a man's face is called barber, BARBA, like Barbie, but it's Barbie hair. Okay. It is coarser than the hair on a woman's face. It is genetically programmed for their hair to grow from mustache to beard, goatee, and all that. It is not normal to see a woman with that. All right. That's why our chromosomes are different. When you see women with that, you know there's a disorder somewhere. All right. So the question is pseudo folliculitis, PFB, is usually caused by. Now, this is an infection of the follicle. How do we know this is infection of the follicle? You may see your guy, or you may see guys just saying their beard itches. That area on it, oh, it just itches, it just itches, it just itches. It's usually caused by electric tweezing, waxing, shaving, or chemical depilatory. Men go into the barber shops and they get their beards what?
Shaved.
Shaved. All right. It comes from shaving. Okay. A chemical depilatory, that's like Nair. The guys have that too, but if done properly, it doesn't cause an infection of the follicle. All right. So you're telling me that by shaving, it can cause me to have an issue with my follicle? Yes. You have some men whose skin does not do well, and a lot of the men are melanated men. The skin that does not do well with razors.
That's why they had them like them bumps and stuff like that, Miss D.
Mhm. And they
Mm-hmm.
complain just itches so much. And so this is why they have gone to clippers and things of that nature. And you even have some guys that have beards, but still, it just itches. That's a clear sign you need a beard wash. Or it could also be a clear sign the groomer needs to sanitize tools. So it could be a number of those, but number one is shaving. All right. And they should be using fresh blades for everyone, but it's just that blade against the skin. Now, if the men have issues with the blade on the skin, why do we think it's cool and we good to put the blade on our skin? See, we be want to jump to dermaplaning, but the one person that can teach you how to dermaplane, I don't care how much I teach you. I don't care how much Miss Candice teach you. Observing a barber and how they shave with that blade is going to be your best teacher. because that um that skin ain't gonna play no joke. It'll cut you and go the wrong way. And you have some women that go through PCOS and you putting a blade on their face, they could possibly have the same thing. You know, people pick at stuff. Now we got scars, we got sores, we got, all kind of stuff we got to fix. So just being mindful and how well everything is connected, okay, in the industry, and everything you do to the skin is a cause and effect. All right, there's a cause and effect to everything. So that was good. We went through 1 through 20. Gonna turn it over to Miss Candace. In the classroom tomorrow, we're gonna finish this off. We'll do 21 through 60. How about that? And then we'll also have our state board prep with our hands-on training, and we'll get our hands into some facial waxing, intro to waxing, and also we're gonna do a little underarm, Brittany. Okay, so we got a full day scheduled tomorrow. I look forward to seeing y'all in the classroom. I am gonna stop share. I'm not sure, Miss Candice, what you have work that you have for them tonight. Oh, Lauren is coming in. It has been an